My grandmother is one of the happiest people I know. She is one of many people who believes that happiness is a choice, but the only one I've met that seems to have made the right one. When I was younger, I thought she must have been born happy. Her middle name is Joy. It must have been written in the stars for her to make sugar water for hummingbirds and laugh when you accidentally break a glass. When I was 12, we were sitting on her closet floor, looking through her old jewelry box. I realized happiness is a journey. She was pulling out old necklaces and telling me their stories before she pulled out a man's wedding ring. This was Frank's, she told me. She stared at it like a relic, or a moment, or a code I didn't have the key to, her eyes never leaving it. She took it in her palm and turned it around a few times before slipping it on her thumb. I just watched, waiting for another story about a hidden desk compartment or a perfectly matching party dress. But as she pushed it all the way onto her finger, she crumpled into herself. She brought her whole body inward, invisible and silent sobs racking through her. She didn't cry, as much as heave a few breaths and scrunch up her eyes. It doesn't fit, she got out. It doesn't fit. In that moment, she transformed into the oldest person on earth. Her decades spilled out of her onto the floor in front of me, and for the first time I was forced to look at them. I thought she was happy. I assumed happy was incompatible with dead husband. I had only known her as a grandmother and never a wife. I had never even imagined her in a context that did not involve her grandkids, her animals, or her joy. I tried to imagine her as a griever, as a widow, and as a military officer before that. I asked her the next day if she still feels like all of those people. Of course, she said, I have a very good memory. I want to be happy. I want to be old and wise and weathered. I want to live to the end of a story. I want to have worlds inside of me and a past I can only bring out occasionally on the floor of a carpeted closet to greet as an old friend.
It's December, but it's still warm enough to sit outside. We don't even need coats. Yellow-green grass and crunchy brown leaves. And Saskia, Nikki, and I sit on the crunchy leaf yellow-green grass. Picnics in the wintertime. I'd always wanted an outside birthday party as a kid, but it had never been warm enough, like it is now. Nikki and I run to the top of the little hill, glasses askew in the grass, and we roll. Leaves in our hair and blades of grass on our sweaters. Saskia holds up her camera like a documentarian, catching every moment. Nikki's laugh resonates through the trees. We say goodbye at the edge of the park, where I sat for an hour, watching weddings and quinceañeras and making happy conversation with the woman next to me. In Danny's hands are flowers and weird little candies from the bodega. To use a debit card, you have to buy $10 worth of goods. I almost bought a giant leaf. And a group of dogs sit down in the crosswalk, and the summer air is warm and pleasant. We walked around the whole park and then got breakfast food at the Purity Diner. I walk to the bus stop. I see one cat, then two. The bus eventually comes, cool air and empty seats. We sit crisscross applesauce under the trees. This land was made for you and me, sings the woman in the Lincoln Park Zoo. We hear her through the fence, past the rhino enclosure and the empty elephant habitat. Surrounded by mosquitoes, a bite on my forehead. I didn't bring a birthday present, but I have candles and a bag of stale bread. Avery is in the tree and Ira below. Katie is visiting from Texas. She tells us how she burnt her arm on a tray of baguettes at the Pret-a-Manger. And we sing, Happy Birthday. Coriander beams, a stale piece of cardamom bread, candle blazing in their hands. The lights go out, not all at once but gradually, a halo of orange around her head. The windows are open and normally I'd complain, but it's perfect. I feel like I'm in a young adult novel, driving around the suburbs as the light fades, stopping at 7-Eleven and skateboarding at midnight. She glides in and out of the streetlights, puddles of light dotting the asphalt. I run alongside. Running and panting, we are drenched in rain. My shoes squish with every step. I hold on to my backpack and we laugh at the ridiculousness. We all saw the rain coming, but we didn't want to go back in. From the top of the hill at the Quarry Park, we watched the sky grow dark, the city skyline lost in thunder. Maria and Elena and Angela and Elizabeth and I. We stop inside the Cermak, drip, drip, dripping onto the clean tile floors, bangs plastered to my forehead. We wait inside for a moment. Big cans of mango juice for 89 cents. My mom is mad, but it can wait. And we wait, walking her home before we go home ourselves. It's a Thursday night, past 10, and we sit on the swings in Nichols Park. A woman walks by with a dog, and we look at the moon. When do we feel the most visible? I've got first period English in the morning.
When I was younger, all I wanted to be was happy. I learned that to be happy, I had to have something to live for. And so I searched. I searched high, and then I searched low. There were times where I could convince myself that I found it, but I was lying. And as I got older and I became cynical, I questioned myself. Was there really meaning? As I continued to look, my search height became lower, and I gave up on just searching low. Years after I stopped looking, I found a beautiful treasure chest hidden away, small and delicate, akin to an orchid. I looked inside to find what gave me meaning, what could drive me every day of my life, and what I could live for. I looked at the note to find my meaning, and with a simple message it read, "Keep looking."